Hey everyone, my name is Pary. I'm an electrical engineer, and today we're going to watch Dr. Stone episode 15 to see how accurate all the science and technology in the TV show really are.
結局何なのこれ。もういい加減中見ていいかな。これって。
Oh, that's what that is? Okay, this whole time I thought that was like some weird hydroelectric thing that like a generator. I don't know. Whatever I thought it was, I was completely off. The deal here is to create carbonic acid, which involves H2O as a liquid and CO2 as a gas. When you're mixing these two together, the ideal conditions for a gas and a liquid is going to be low temperature and high pressure. And we can see that like anywhere. Like if you have like a can of Coca-Cola or a can of Sprite and it's really cold to the touch, and when you open it, you hear that fizz, right? Well, what that is it's all the high pressure inside the can being released at once. That's all the carbon dioxide and the carbonic acid being released out of the can into the air. Temperature he cannot control because it's just outside in the open. It's not inside of a lab or anything. Pressure he is controlling by rotating the bamboo cylinder like right by the waterfall, by constantly like churning, and like it's mixing all the water inside of it. And if there's even the slightest amount of carbonated water or carbonic acid in there, the constant mixing of that cylinder will increase the strength of the carbonation. And like you can test that too if you have like a can of like Coca-Cola or Sprite or like whatever you drink. If you shake it and then you open it, all of a sudden it just blasts everywhere, right? So it's like a volcano. And the reason that happens is because you're increasing the pressure of the carbonation inside the can. So like the equivalent of like shaking a can of Coke is pretty much like that bamboo cylinder like spinning over and over again. There's no way to make any form of carbonated water without a source of carbon dioxide, and Senku actually has that. Like when he won his when he won the duel in the grand bout and he became like the chief of the whole village, and then he divorced the girl 5 minutes later. There were other villagers that came up to him and they were saying, hey, like it's time to celebrate, and one of them had like a clay pot full of wine, and they were saying like this wine has pretty much turned to vinegar. And I don't know how those people know what vinegar is, but that's beside the point. Acetobacter in the wine will actually turn it into vinegar if you just leave it like outside long enough. To clarify, I mean like leave it outside when it's exposed to air. Not just like if you just leave a bottle in a wine cellar, nothing will happen to it. But if you leave it open, then eventually it will turn to vinegar. The alcohol part of the wine will oxidize, and as a result, it will produce carboxylic acid. And the carboxylic acids are a group or a family of acids that no matter what they are, they each contain 1 carbon, 1 hydrogen, and 2 oxygen. An example of carboxylic acid is carbonic acid. To summarize that very long explanation, what's happening is that pot that used to be wine is funneling all of the carboxylic acid or the carbonic acid through the bamboo cylinder that's constantly turning, and all of that air is going to be mixing with the water, and as we know, like shaking the pop can makes the carbonation stronger. As that cylinder keeps on turning over and over again, it's increasing the pressure, so that little small amount of the carbonic acid is actually really increasing in the carbonation strength. Senku doesn't have to worry about any other gases that might be coming out of that pot of what's now vinegar that used to be wine, because if you look at the bamboo cylinder that's like being rotated by the waterfall, it's open at one end. So when the gases from that pot are going through the cylinder, like via the hose, any gases that are not aqueous, which means they don't dissolve in water, they'll just pass through the hole. Whereas carbonic acid, thankfully, it is aqueous, which means every little bit of carbonic acid or carbon dioxide that's leaving that pot will be caught in the water, and it will be used to create the carbonated effect.
2度にクロロ硫酸を混ぜりゃパラアセトアミドベンゼンクロロスルホン酸で、そこにアンモニアぶち込んだパラアセトアミドベンゼンスルホン酸アミドを塩酸で煮た料理があれな。よく
I don't have the slightest clue of anything that man just said. Did they ever reveal what Senku was doing before he turned to stone? Like his job or like what he was studying or anything like that? I mean, his favorite subject had to have been chemistry, and his second favorite subject, biochemistry. And I mean, he has such a strong knowledge of like not just these chemical reactions off the top of his head, but he also has a very good grasp on where to find all the material to actually combine to make these reactions occur.
スルファニルアミド。そう、別名。万能薬。サルファ剤の完成だ。シャー！
Sulfanilamide is still used today as an like antibacterial drug. Now, I don't have the strongest knowledge of pharmaceuticals, and it just so happened that one of my friends who recommended that I watch this TV show and make the YouTube videos about it is actually going to school to be a pharmacist right now. And she told me about this particular episode and that like this drug would show up, and also informed me that this drug is still used today, but it's specifically used for one purpose, and that is to treat women with yeast infections. I was also told that this drug can be used for general like antibacteria and anti-inflammatory, but there's 1.5 million better alternatives. And I did ask my friend, like, is it possible to use this drug to cure like tuberculosis or like whatever would cause somebody to cough up blood? But I suppose if you're in a stone world and you actually have a drug that is an antibacterial, anti-inflammatory medicine, I suppose that becomes like a all for one, one for all. Like, you might as well use that for everything you can because it's the only choice you have.
炭酸水にパクチー、ライム、蜂蜜を焦がしたカラメルを入れりゃコーラの完成だ。潰したパクチーにライムの皮絞るだけでもいきなりコーラの香りになってビビるぞ。
I've already heard from the comment section as well as multiple other people about the Senku Cola, and it's absolutely 100% legitimate. If you follow the instructions that the Mecha Senku just gave right in front of you, you will be able to create this drink, and it will taste just like soda. If you felt so keen on it, there are plenty of videos on YouTube of people actually recreating this, and most of them say that it tastes pretty good. Like it certainly doesn't taste like Coke or Sprite or Pepsi or the things that like you really enjoy tasting, but like you'd be surprised like how close to the real thing that this actually gets.
スペシャル技だ。つまり瑠璃の病名は肺炎。たかが肺炎じゃねえぞ。人類を何億人も殺してきた難病だ。
Okay, so Ruri has pneumonia, and I'll just right off the bat, I'll let you guys know pneumonia is a like really awful, mostly annoying disease to have, because as bad as it is 100% curable, and it's actually quite common. Like millions of people a year in the United States alone actually have pneumonia, and it takes about 3 weeks in the hospital to be 100% cured of it. The pathway that air takes before it gets into your lungs is through your, well, nose or your mouth, then down your trachea to the bronchiole, bronchioles, and then finally your alveoli. Alveoli resemble little, like, bunches of pink grapes. I think that's the best way for me to actually describe what they look like. And they're hollow. And the reason they're hollow is because they're meant to intake air that you breathe in and then diffuse that into your bloodstream so that you have like healthy air coming in and you have your bad air you're exhaling out. However, with pneumonia, your alveoli will fill with fluid. And this really seriously hurts your ability to breathe, because now like those parts of your lungs that are responsible for taking in air are just drowning. And this is why pneumonia is really, really awful to have. I'm not trying to make light of anybody who has suffered through pneumonia before, but it is a disease that it's quite awful to experience. However, there is comfort knowing that if you receive proper treatment, your chances of death are pretty much zero. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that video, and if you found some value in it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and then comment down below what was your favorite part of the video. If you want me to watch more Dr. Stone, go ahead, put that in there as well, or any other movie or TV show that you would have me like commentate over, go ahead, let me know. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay fresh and stay golden.